Good morning, Thursday morning, Millionaire Mindset Book Club. Mind, body, spirit action going on, right? We're No Limits by John Maxwell. We're at the end. We're at the end. Chapters 18, 19. We'll knock out a little postscript. Chapter 20, the conclusion this morning too. So, um, chapter 18 is about growth capacity. Your growth capacity. Your choice to focus on how far you can go. Right. John Maxwell quotes Carol Dweck, who is an author on psychology, and she said that people naturally possess one of two mindsets. Some have a fixed mindset, the belief that their qualities, their personal qualities, intelligence, character, etc., can't change. You are what you are, and then they're basically like, okay, this is the way we are, and we're like that for life. And others possess a growth mindset that believe their personal qualities can be developed, right? So what about you? We've been talking about growth. We've been talking about your capacity in all these different areas during this book. Um, are there particular places where you feel that growth is possible, right? I mean, obviously growth is possible in all these different areas, but um, your capacity to grow really depends on your attitude about it, right? Your attitude. The reality is that your capacities, people's capacities, are limitless, right? And our desire should be to explore how far we can stretch it. Remember, the last chapter. One of the last chapters was about risk. If you don't risk it, you'll never know how far you can go. And I told you the story yesterday about a guy that I put in the Army that was 35 years old, said, if I don't do it now, I'll spend the rest of my life wondering if I could have done it. So what do you have in your life that you have wanted to do, but haven't done? I don't want. I won't go so far as say you've been afraid to do it, but just that you haven't done it. It could be from, fear, lack of confidence in yourself, whatever it is. But what is it in your life? Is there something in your life? I bet there is, that you've said, man, I want to do that, and then you just haven't. Why not? Right? Why not? Whether it's personal, business, recreation, whatever it is, right? Ask yourself, why not? Why haven't I done this? How can I make this happen? Right? So you need to be stretching yourself, right? When you enter into a mindset, you enter a new world, right? It says, in one world, the world of fixed traits, success is about proving that you're smart or talented and validating yourself. But in the other world, the world with changing qualities, it's about stretching yourself to learn something new and developing yourself. Talking to a guy at church the other day, and asked, what did you learn today? And I think maybe he asked me, and it made me think about kids, little kids, toddlers, babies, right? Learn something new every day. What if we continued that through our entire lives? What if we continued to learn something new every day? Even a toddler, a baby, at some point learns, hey, this is my hand. I can control it, right? That's learners. Think about what we could accomplish if we just learned one thing new every day, right? John Maxwell says that there are other people ahead of you. If there are people ahead of you that are there, wherever it is, you can be there too, right? He says all his life he's been very intentional about finding people that are faster, better, smarter, bigger, and older than he is to learn from, right? So consider that. He says he uses the power of proximity to get next to people who can help him get to the next level, right? Look at their success journey. Do you look at somebody's who's successful and go, wow, they were lucky, or blah, 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 blah? Use their success as inspiration for your own success, right? And remember that it makes you better when you hang around with better people, right? Makes you better when you hang around with better people. So remember, in your capacity for growth, there are always people that are ahead of you. Number two, you're continually challenged, right? Every day, right? In my devotional, and I'll be honest with you, I don't do it every day, right? But in my devotional, I always thank God for the challenges that are in my life to make me better. I tell people in real estate that that there are lots of hurdles that you have to get over along the way. And every time you go over a hurdle, you leave a whole bunch of your competition behind, right? Because those are the people that aren't willing to do the work and make the sacrifices to get over, to get over the hump, right? So that's a good thing for you, right? So remember, you're continually challenged. Instead of asking, how long will it take? Ask, how far can I go? Right? Another quote that he's got in here says, some people drink from the fountain of knowledge. Other people just gargle, right? So what do you want to do? You want to be a drinker or a gargler, right? Number 3, focus on forward, right? Focus on forward. Tony Robbins says, where focus goes, energy flows. Say no to the good so that you can say yes to the best, right? Warren Buffett says, if you're thinking about your priorities, make a list of all the things that are important to you, pick the top 3 and throw the list away, throw the rest of the list away, right? Focus. You got to weed out. There's lots and lots of good ideas out there, right? But you got to focus on the great ones, right? So what is it that can move you forward in life, right? Number 4, the atmosphere is affirming, right? Value people and believe in them and unconditionally love them. And what he really means by that is create an environment that's affirming to people, right? Be positive, right? Encourage people, expect the best, and you'll get the best, right? Number 5, when you're growing, you'll know you're growing. You're out of your comfort zone, right? He's talked about this a lot, right? About being out of your comfort zone, right? There is no growth in your comfort zone. You've got to stretch yourself, right? Number six is, and this is to be in a growth environment. Number 6, you wake up excited, right? That's how I wake up. I wake up every day excited about the new possibilities, right? I used to work in a hospital. And we would have a meeting every morning, 6:45, right? 6:45 in the morning. And at the right time of year, and it's up high on the hospital, faces east. And at the right time of year, when we'd be in there and the sun would be coming up, and I would watch the sun come up, during this meeting. And I never paid attention. I never paid attention to the meeting, right? Because I was watching the sunrise. And I always look at it as a day filled with new opportunities, right? That's how you got to look at life. Today's a day filled with new opportunities. You think you're bored or whatever, you're not excited about your work. There's more to do, right? But you gotta look for it. You gotta be intentional, right? So John Maxwell says, wake up excited, because he wakes up excited when it comes to his work environment, because he gets to help people, because he's good at what he does, because he gets better every day at what he's doing. He loves the people he works with, and he is called, right? He is calling to make a difference, right? So think about, do you wake up excited every morning, right? But you know what? Every day you make a choice to explore and make the most out of your opportunities for growth, or to ignore them, right? So what is it that you're doing, right? Remember, in your growth journey, failure is not your enemy, right? Failure teaches you, his other book. Sometimes you win, sometimes you learn, right? Think about that. And what your failures come about, they teach you lessons. They help you to develop resilience, and they help you to use that failure to help others, right? That's part of the wonder of reading, right? Is that you can get years and years of experience from somebody else, right? You don't have to go through it. Remember, experience is lessons learned, right? Are based on things that you do over time, right? But if you can read about what other people do over time, you can skip all those years, right? Jim Rohn says you can't achieve beyond your level of development, right? You don't achieve goals, you grow into them, right? And keep in mind that sometimes you will run into people that don't want to grow. Okay, don't worry about them. Don't focus on them. Focus your energies and your efforts on people that want to grow, right? before you start investing time in somebody, ask, do they want to grow? Will they do it? And can they do it? Can they? Yes. Do they want to? Maybe, maybe not. Right. Okay. So don't just go with the flow in your life, right? Don't just go with the flow in your life. You've got to make an intentional effort to, for growth, right? You got to have a growth plan, right? So his growth capacity questions. How many of the 10 characteristics described in the chapter does your current environment possess? Remember, you can change your environment too, right? What does that say about the environment? Do you need to make changes? And if so, what are they? Number 2, who have you actively chosen to mentor you in your life? And do you have a mentor? And if not, who should you approach, right? And number 3, what direction would you like to go in your life, and how do you need to grow to get there? What steps can you take today to start you off in that direction? Last night, I had a coaching column and a coaching program, and last night we were talking about review and reflection, right? And this came up. So reviewing things help you to learn something about that situation, right? When you review what's happened over the last year, you're learning something about that situation. When you reflect, right, you're looking at the situation and you're learning something about yourself, right? When you reflect on things, right? So a big part of any kind of growth plan needs to include reflection, right? How are you doing it, right? Then chapter 19 is about your partnership capacity, right? I don't spend a lot of time on this. We've talked about it a lot. Mother Teresa said, "I can do things that you cannot. You can do things that I cannot, and together we can do great things." Right? I can do things that you can't, and you can do things that I can't. But together, we can do great things. Right? That's a partnership. Right? Andrew Carnegie said, "It marks a big step in your development when you come to realize that other people can help you do a better job than you could do alone." Right? I got to tell you. This has been a fault of mine in the past, right? I got a great idea. I have what I think is a great idea. And instead of sharing it, right? Instead of sharing it with others and utilizing their abilities, right, to help develop the idea and to put it into practice, right? I kept it to myself, saying, it's not good enough yet. It needs to be perfect or whatever. And then it just dies, right? It could have been something that made a huge difference in my life, personally, professionally, financially, whatever, and I failed to capitalize on it, right? And that's, I need to do better at that, right? Partners can help you go farther, right? Partners can help you go farther. To enjoy great partners, obviously, John Maxwell's got a list. How to be a great partner. Number 1, place their agenda at the top of your agenda, right? If you want to partner up with others, then meet them where they are, right? Find common ground. Put their agenda at the top, right? Number 2, add value to them on a daily basis, right? You can be a leader for a time, or you can help somebody else succeed and be a leader forever, right? Number 3, give them influence, ideas, and tools, right? Influence. Who do I know? Who do I know that they should know, right? Who do you know that you could introduce me to, or vice versa? If I know you, then I should be thinking about who can I introduce you to that can help you move forward in your quest, your journey, your life, whatever. So that's influence. Ideas. What do I know that you should know, right? Every time you share an idea, you don't take anything away from yourself. You add tremendously to somebody else. And then tools. What do I use that they could use, right? Doesn't necessarily mean you have to give them the tools, but give them the information so that they can go out and get the tools for themselves. Number 4, tailor your service to meet their needs, right? How can I help provide a growth environment for you? I think this is part of it right here. In addition to the book club, right? Occasionally I'll do a mastermind, right? If that's, and typically the mastermind will be based on a John Maxwell, on a John Maxwell book. I'm a John Maxwell certified, coach and trainer and speaker. And so we can do, I'm going to do a no limits mastermind group at the beginning of the year. So if that's something that you're interested in, certainly reach out to me. You can do it through the Facebook group or through YouTube. So number 5, never violate the trust that they have in you, right? Number 6 is exceed their expectations in everything that you do. And number 7, as a partner, you have to respect the relationship and grow into it, right? It's not a marriage, but kind of, right? Kind of. Partnerships are difficult, right? Partnerships are difficult. And before you enter into a partnership, you need to do your due diligence, and you need to, make sure that the person that you're partnering up with is a good fit, right? That you have the same vision, for where you're going, right? Otherwise, it splits up, right? Partnership will split up. So his partnership capacity questions: are you naturally a soloist or somebody that wants to be part of an ensemble, right? And do you think of ways to work with others, and how can you change your thinking to develop more partnerships? Number 2, what are you currently doing that would benefit from partnership with somebody else? And number 3, if you're a leader and you have people that report to you, do you think of them as partners that you serve, or as employees who serve you, right? How would your capacity increase if you thought of them as partners, right? So that's chapter 19. And then chapter 20 is simply the conclusion. Remember that you can do this. Remember, awareness plus ability plus choices equal your capacity, right? Your awareness of a character trait or whatever, your ability, plus the choices that you make are what create your capacity, right? So growth, for example, your awareness of the fact that you need to grow, and you need to have a growth plan, plus your ability to do that, plus the choices that you make every day. Today, I'm going to learn something, right? Today, I'm going to look at this in a way that allows for growth. End up equaling your growth capacity, right? So, ladies and gentlemen, this has been No Limits by John C. Maxwell. I hope that it has been beneficial to you. Chapter a day, that's all you need. Next up, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. Here it is, The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. You can find this. You can find this on Amazon. Jeff Olson was one of Darren Hardy's mentors. So if you know Darren Hardy, the former publisher of Success Magazine. So anyway, he got a lot of what he learned from this. And if you've ever read Darren Hardy's book, The Compound Effect, you'll recognize a lot of the ideas in there in the Slight Edge. So we will start the Slight Edge on Monday, December 4th. Can you believe it? The 2023 is almost done, right? 2023 is almost done. So let's get a jump start into 2024 with the Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. So thank you very much for joining me in the No Limits journey, and I look forward to seeing you on Monday for the Slight Edge. If you know somebody else that might benefit from 15 minutes a day of growth and self-development, invite them to the Millionaire Mindset Book Club. Thanks a lot. Get out there, make today the best day of your life so far, and we'll see you on Monday.